Hello, beautiful people. How are you all doing today? I hope you are all having the most amazing day. My name is Anita. I'm the jewelry and accessory designer for UK-based brand Anita Panza London. So today I've come to go on another creative journey with you. I have come to introduce you to the curated bead mixes, which I have available on my website. So the curated bead mixes is a combination of crackle glass beads, specially picked Venetian Murano glass beads, which are amazing. And then you've got like obviously assorted beads, and you've got these beautiful mushrooms here as well in the curated bead mix. And also in the bead mix, you have two pendants as well that comes in the bead mix, which is amazing. So with these pendants, you can use it to make a necklace, either a necklace, or you can use it to make a pair of earrings, or you can even use it to make a bracelet if you wish. So today I'm just going to show you a design, an earring design that you can actually make out of this curated bead mix. The bead mix, you can actually make a pair of earrings depending on the style that you go for, or you can also make an earring or bracelet, or a necklace and a bracelet. It's entirely up to you. So the color theme of the bead mix is this color here. It's a combination of blue, orange, with a little bit of like a coral red color and a hint of gold. So it's a lovely mix that you can use to create anything that you wish. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to show you how you can make this gorgeous pair of earrings from the bead mix. I don't know whether you can see that, but of course you can make different styles. You can even go for a much simpler style if you wish, but I just wanted to show you one of the styles that you can actually make using the curated bead mix. Okay, so the tools you'll be needing a chain nose pliers, you'll be needing round nose pliers, and you also be needing side cutters. And then also for this, I'll also be using a 20 gauge wire. So I'll be using this antique bronze 20 gauge wire. And then I'll also be using two ear wires for my earrings as well. Okay, the earrings and the the wire do not come in the curated mix. What you get in the curated mix is you get the two pendants, and then you get this assorted beads here. Okay, I will put a link of where you can buy your wires if you wish, your ear wires and the ear wire, and then the copper wire as well. Okay, all right, without further ado, we're going to make a start on our earrings. So I'm just going to create a space here. So I'm just going to now take one of my pendants. Okay, this pendant is absolutely beautiful. It's brass and it's got this textured surface here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut myself a desired length of my wire. All right, so I normally give myself enough length to work with than less length to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut my wire. All right, so I'm just going to now measure out the length of the wire. So in this case, I've cut about 17 centimeters in length for my wire. Okay, if you're making a pair of earrings, obviously you need to cut yourself the two 17 centimeters. Okay, then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm now going to go ahead and form a loop on my wire and then do a wire wrap. So to form a loop, what I normally do is I'll take my round nose plier, placing the tip of my wire just in this. You can see where I place it here, the distance. Okay, then I'm now going to bend my wire into a kink like so. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tip of my finger. I'm now going to place the wire over my plier. Okay, I'll take the wire out and insert my plier back again, and I'm going to take this same wire and I'm going to now wrap it over. So what I'm trying to do is, in essence, I'm trying to create a loop as well as a wire wrap. Okay, because this is a 20 gauge wire, it's easy for me to mold it around, unlike the 16 or the 18 gauge wire, which is slightly thicker. All right, so it's interesting because as your wire goes up in sizes, the thinner it is. So let's say you get like a 26 gauge wire. 26 gauge wire, you will think that because it is a higher gauge wire in terms of the number, actually the higher the number, the lesser the weaker the wire is. So 26 gauge wire is actually weaker than a 16 gauge wire. Isn't it ironic? It's interesting, right? But anyway, so bear that in mind when you are sourcing your wire. The higher the number, the lesser the lesser the wire, the lesser the strength of the wire. Okay, the lesser the wire, let's say the 16 gauge wire is a lot stronger because it's thicker than the 26 gauge wire. Okay, so if you're making like a wire wrap like I'm doing here, you can either go for a 20 gauge wire or you can go for an 18 gauge wire. 18 gauge wire will be slightly thicker than the 20 gauge wire. Okay, all right, so once I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now place my wire back inside. I'm now going to use my finger, and I'm now going to now wrap around, like form like create like a spiral design. You can also use your chain nose plier to do so if you wish. All right, the wire I'm using is a non-tarnish wire, so which is quite good, because what happens is if you're worried about all that sparkles and loses its sheen after some time, with this wire you don't have to worry about tarnishing or anything, because it's actually an anti-tarnish resistant wire. Okay, again, with any piece of jewelry you still have to care for it. You now do not dip it in water, do not put perfume next to it, do not put anything that's going to make it like lose its sheen. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do, once I've done my wire wrap, that's what it looks like. It looks like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my Curated Bead mix, and I'm going to get one of these beautiful glass beads here. Okay, and I'm now going to now place the top, a bigger version of the big bead here. All right, so you get a different size beads in the curated mix. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tip of my wire, I'm going to insert it in the middle. As you can see, this brass pendant has 3 holes, 1 2 3 in the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to place my wire right in the middle like so. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take my wire, and I'm going to bend my wire like that. All right, so bend it, and I'm going to either use my hand or I'm going to use my plier, but in this case I'm going to try and use my plier. So I'm going to use my round nose plier. I'm now going to take that longer wire and I'm going to wrap it round over my bead. Okay, so you can now bring it to the top as well if you wish. All right, so I'm just going to straighten up my wire. Okay, so you can use your finger. I'm alternating and using my finger at the same time as my my wire. Okay, so I just have to keep wrapping. All right, so if you feel like your wire is out of place, just take it out and then wrap again. All right, okay, just keep wrapping. All right, and then when I get to my desired position, what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to now trim off my wire with my side cutter. All right, so once I've done that, I'm going to use my chain nose plier, the tip of my chain nose plier. I'm now going to flatten the tail end of the wire that I've just snipped off. So once I've done that, I'm left with something like this. Okay, then what you can do is you can now straighten up your wire. So this is what it looks like once you're done. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that to one side, and I'm going to go ahead again and cut myself, maybe this time around, maybe 19 centimeters in length of my 20 gauge wire. So I'm just going to straighten up my wire like so. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to now take my wire. You see this position here on the wire pendant, I'm not on the pendant, sorry. I'm now going to take my wire, insert it through like so, and I'm going to take that shorter wire, wrap it over the pendant like that. Okay, once I've done that, then I'll now change my position, put my hand here, and then I'm using my hand, I'm going to grip tightly onto the pendant. I'm going to take this shorter wire here, I'm going to wrap the shorter wire round my longer wire. All right, just wrap it a couple of times. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to now snip off the tail end of that wire. Please do bear in mind, when you're snipping off this wire, it is wire and it does fly all over the place, so watch out for your eyes when you're cutting it. And also, if you do have like a smaller part next to you, just put those little remnants of the wire in that pot, because there's nothing worse than sitting down or stepping on the carpet and then having this sharp wire pricking your feet. It is not a pleasant feeling, trust me. Okay, so once I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my round nose plier. I'm going to pinch the top of the area that I've just looped. All right, and I'm now going to now bend like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to thread onto my wire one of my crackle beads. All right, so I'm just going to thread one of the crackle beads onto my wire like so. Okay, and I'm going to take one of my beads again. I love this this textured Murano glass beads. Absolutely beautiful. And then I'm now going to take another crackle beads. I'm now going to place it like so. You can see what it looks like. It looks like that. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wire here. I'm going to pass it from the behind of my pendant like so. You see, I've got the first hole, second hole. Pass it from the behind through to the front. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that wire to the front. Okay, so making sure that all my beads are tightly snug next to each other, okay, as you're pulling. All right, you can use your round nose plier to help you do the tidying up if you wish. All right, so just pull like that, making sure that all your beads are centralized. All right, and then once you've done that, this is what it will look like, but we're not done yet. So what we're going to do next is, and I'm going to make sure that I pull my wire, making sure that I pull my wire tightly as possible, and making sure again, like I said, that my beads are tightly snug. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just trim off that wire again a little bit because I really don't need that much. Then what I'm going to do, this wire that I've just snipped off, I'm now going to take the tip of my round nose plier. I'm going to take that shorter wire, I'm going to wrap that shorter wire right behind my wire. Okay, so just take that shorter wire, wrap it behind, pick it up from the back here. So what we're trying to do is create like a wire wrap, all right, around that wire. So do bear with me. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna now find, okay, pull it out, pull it from here. So maybe just take it from the back here. Okay, ooh, sorry, do bear with me. Okay, yeah, so the wire is here. So I'm just going to take that wire. Okay, so once I've done all that, I've molded it so my earrings will look like that. This is what it looks like. That's the back of it, and then that's the side of it here. Okay, so I've nipped and tucked it here, and I've done like a wire wrap here just to seal in the tail end of that wire. Okay, then what I'm going to go ahead next and do is I'm just going to cut myself some wire. Okay, again, I'm just eyeballing the design. So again, it's entirely up to you the length you're going to use for your own. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a ring like shape, like a spiral shape. So I'm just going to take the tip of my plier, I'm just going to now bend my wire into a loop like that. Okay, into a round loop like that. Okay, so I can just bring it in and then bend it into a loop like so. All right, like that. I know that you can see that like that. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap my pliers into my chain nose plier, and I'm going to now wrap my wire around that smaller loop. Okay, using my chain nose plier, you see how I'm holding it, and then using my finger to just go around and wrapping my wire around the loop like that. So we're creating this kind of like spiral shaped pattern here. Okay, so I'm just going to keep repeating that till I get my desired shape that I want. Again, you can now make yours bigger if you wish. Okay, so when I get to that point, this is what it looks like here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my round nose plier and I'm going to bend it into a kink like so. So when I bend it into a kink, so it looks like that. I don't know that you can see that. All right, so this is what it looks like. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my wire, the tail end of my wire, I'm going to pass it through the loop on my pendant here. Okay, and I'm going to take one of my beads, my darker color beads. So again, you can use any beads from your curated bead mix. And then I'm now going to insert my wire through the opposite side of the pendant. So you can see there's a hole there, and this is what we want here. Okay, so I'm just going to pull my wire through, and when I pull my wire through, I get this spiral design here on at the end of my design of my wire here. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to now gauge where I'm going to snip off my wire, because I'm now going to go ahead and repeat my spiral pattern. All right, so again, you just have to just bear in mind, maybe snip off a little bit more. All right, so I'm just going to, again, using my round nose plier, I'm going to bend, mold, wrap my wire into like, as if I'm forming like a loop. Okay, so I'm just going to swap my plier to my chain nose plier, and I'm going to now hold, and then I'll keep wrapping the wire around each other to like get that spiral. It reminds me of cinnamon cinnamon bun. cinnamon bun shape. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep wrapping it. You keep wrapping it till you get to the end. When you get to the end, again using my round nose plier again, I'm gonna now bend it into a kink, and then I'm gonna now completely wrap. Okay, so once you've done that, this is what it looks like. It looks like that. Can you see that beautiful spiral pattern at the end of the wire? Okay, then what I'm going to go ahead and do next is I'm gonna now grab my wire again, and I'm gonna grab my wire, and then I'm gonna insert my wire through the loop on the spiral here. You can see my wire here through the loop here, and then I'm gonna mold it into like a U shape like that. Okay, so mold it into a U shape. I'm now gonna hold on to my pendant and make sure I don't lose my spiral, my spiral design. I'm gonna pinch both wires together, again holding on to my wire. I'm gonna now take my round nose plier. I'm gonna wrap the shorter wire around the longer wire just a couple of times. All right, so we're trying to create like a wire wrap. All right, so just a couple of times, and then I'm gonna now snip off the tail end of the wire. Okay, using my chain nose plier, I'm now gonna flatten that snip end, making sure that it's flat. Okay, so once you've done that, this is what it looks like. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna now mold my wire again, because this is a 20 gauge wire. It's easy for me to kind of mold it into shape. All right, so I'm just gonna mold it, and I'm gonna take this tail end of my wire, pass it through the other opposite end of the loop on the spiral here. Okay, and I'm gonna pull it out. Okay, so once I pull it out, again, this is the opportunity for me to now mold the arch that's gonna hold on top of the earring. I'm gonna link my A wire onto. Okay, so once I've done that, I'm gonna again bend it into a U shape like you've done previously. All right, and then what I'm going to do is, again, I'm gonna take this wire here, I'm gonna now wire wrap it a couple of times like I've done on the opposite side. Okay, again holding on to the spiral part, don't lose it, and make sure that you don't lose the shape. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it a couple of times, and then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna snip off that tail end of my wire. Okay, using my chain nose plier, I'm now gonna bring that bring both ends, the tail end, and then make sure that I nip and tuck it in so that it's not sticking out. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and mold my arch in position. So once you've done that, this is what it looks like. I don't know whether you can see that. You can see the spiral, so bear with me, let me just mold that in position. So you can see the spiral here, you can see the spiral there, and you can see where we've molded the arch onto the earring, the top of the earrings, like so. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go ahead, as you're doing your mold, make sure that you mold it to the way you want it. If you want the loop to the root loop to be a lot more thinner, you can use your finger and bring it closer if you wish. Okay, so when you bring it closer, it looks more like this shape here, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that, like that. Okay, and I'm gonna now go ahead and open the my fish hook wire. So to open up my wire, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tip of my chain nose plier. I'm going to now lift up my A wire. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my looped area here, I'm going to place it inside my A wire, and I'm going to now take the tip of my chain nose plier, I'm going to now close it in, close it back. Okay, so once you're done, you've got your earrings here. That's what your earrings look like, and that's from the Curated Bead mix. Okay, like I mentioned earlier on, this is what it looks like. Again, let me just mold this one, because this one is, the wire is a lot shorter, it's not a lot wire. Yeah, but this is what it looks like, the earrings look like. Sorry, let me put that on the table for you to see. This is what it looks like. Let me clear all that table. Let me clear that. So this is what your earrings looks like. So you can create that. You can also make like a much simpler earrings if you wish, or you can make like even a statement earrings like this using the wire wrapping. Okay, like I mentioned, the wire do not come in the Curated Bead mix, unfortunately, and the same with the A wire, but I will put a link where you can buy the wires. But the bead mix and the pendants do come as a Curated Bead mix, as the curated, well, in a way it's like a kit in a way. So yeah, so you can make yourself a pair of earrings like this using the Curated bead mix. I can also show you quickly how we can make an elasticated bracelet. So what I'm going to do is I'll get myself an elastic, okay, just to show you the kind of give you an idea of what you can create using the mix. Okay, so I've got myself an elastic here. All right, bear with me. Let me find my elastic. Okay, I do have an elastic here. Okay, I do have some elastic here, so I'm just going to use some of my elastic here. All right, so bear with me. Okay, I've got this elastic here that you can also use as well. All right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go ahead and thread onto my elastic the beads that I have. So I've got like okay, let me put my earrings to one side here. Okay, I've got this beautiful heart-shaped bead here, and then I've got these beautiful shapes glass beads here. So you can now think of what you want as your central focal for your bracelet. But I also like this beautiful bead here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to have that as my focal. I'm going to have that as my focal centerpiece for my bracelet. Okay, all right, so I've threaded that onto my elastic. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and now think about other beads I'm going to incorporate. So I'll now look for a bead that has so I can have that on both sides. Okay, so I've got that here. Oh, all right, and then also I'll think of other beads. So if you want now, you can now bring in like your mushrooms, or you can bring in like anything you wish, like, because it's your design now, so you can now plan ahead what you want to do. Okay, so I've got this bracelet, these beads here, so I'm just going to thread that on. So basically I'm just threading at random. I'm going to thread at random. Okay, it's just to show you, give you an idea of what's in the mix and what you can create with the beads in the mix. Essentially, you can actually use the kit. The kit can actually make simpler earrings. So if, let's say, if you want to make a different pair of earrings, you can actually get yourself like head pin or eye pin, and you can actually create other pieces of jewelry, especially now with the Christmas season coming up, with the holiday season coming up. You can actually make multiple gifts for loved ones using this curated bead mix. Okay, so so I'm just threading that on. So you can, let's say in this bead mix now, you can actually make, let's say, at least good 7 pairs of earrings. Okay, and then with the pendants, you can also make other with the pendant, you can also make either a necklace, or you can make another pair of earrings, a different design like I've showed you today, or you can make different styles. So I'm just going to thread this on at random. Okay, all right, so you can use any elastic that you wish. You can use also, if you want to do using the stringing method as well, you can also use, like, let's say your tiger tail to make your bracelet as well. So you always don't have to do like an elasticated style bracelet. Okay, all right, so this is what it looks like so far. So let me just go ahead and thread onto maybe a gold color. Let's see, and then threading onto that like that. All right, so you can see I'm just threading on at random. All right, so let's say if I now want to bring in my mushroom, because I really like this mushroom, I really want to bring that into the design. So I'm just going to thread the mushroom onto the side. I've got a couple of mushrooms. I've got the smaller orange and then the blue. Of course, in your bead mix, you are guaranteed to get 1 mushroom at least, or you might even get 2, depending if you're lucky, you can get 2. So you can see as you're making your bracelet, what you can do is just keep measuring the wrist of your bracelet, or your wrist, measuring the circumference of your wrist. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to maybe finish off with another bead in the middle. Let's say a crackle bead. Let's put a crackle bead there. All right, bear with me. So we just finish off with a crackle bead here. Bear with me. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and tie up my bracelet. Okay, so I'm just going to take my bracelet here, and then I'm going to now make a knot. Okay, so I normally do like a double knot. Okay, once you're doing it, just stretch. Okay, as you're doing it, stretch. All right, stretch. All right, keep stretching. Make sure that you stretch your elastic. I know some people, obviously, elasticated bracelet is a very, very popular style because it's easier to wear. So once you stretch, what you can then do is, what I do is I'll just take a little bit of my super glue, or you can use a cement glue. Is it hypo cement? You can use that, or you can use any glue that you want, and then you can now trim it off. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my side cutter. I'm going to trim off my elastic, but not too close to where I've knotted it, just a little bit above. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull my elastic, pull. So once you've pulled it, you've got your bracelet there, and then leave your bracelet to dry. All right, okay, so as you can see, we've still got all these beads here left over from the bead mix. Okay, we've created like a bracelet, we've created a pair of earrings. Okay, we've created a pair of earrings, and we've created like a bracelet, and then you still got all these beads left from the bead mix. So what you can do is you can actually make yourself another bracelet, or you can make yourself another necklace, like a simple necklace, using the bead mix. So you can see you do get quite a lot in this curated bead mix. So this is the bracelet. I mean, the bracelet is absolutely fun. So you can stack it up, and you can even make yourself another bracelet as well. So in this kit, you can actually make 2 elasticated bracelets. You can make yourself a pair of earrings. Isn't that amazing? So this is perfect. It's available on my website, so you can have a look and then see, you know, if it takes your fancy. But it's one of those curated bead mix that you can actually have fun with, and make some fabulous pieces of jewelry with them. But anyway, without further ado, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for going on yet another creative journey with me. You are always amazing. Always amazing. Such a joy to come and share my creative ideas with you. And thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. So if you're watching this on YouTube, please do not forget to comment, to like, and to subscribe. I would really appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing you once again. Please do comment. Let me know if you do create other pieces from the bead mix. Do tag me on Facebook, and do tag me on Instagram. I would love to see your amazing pieces. Thank you so much, and have the most amazing day. Take care. Bye.